October is not only Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it's also a very special month for our next guest. Now, specifically, October the 28th is the date to remember, because every year on this day, our next guest has her own global celebration of her birth, okay? She's the most excited 30-year-old I've ever met, and she's joining us this morning so we can find out a lot more about her 3-decade-long life. Her name is AJ Sarpong. She's the princess of radio, she's the princess of the chat on City TV, and she's joining us this morning on Breakfast Daily. Good morning, AJ.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you.
Now, I think we need to get a few things out of the way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for those who are watching now and who listen to radio, it's Dynamic Friday.
Good. It's good that you carried your energy into your 30s. All right. AJ, great to see you.
Great to have you. Thank you for having me.
30 looks good on you.
Thank you. I think so.
It does.
I like it.
Good.
It's a nice space.
It really is.
It's called minimum effort.
Maximum enjoyment.
That's
a decade.
Okay, now, first things first. What does AJ stand for those who don't know?
Antoinette Joanne.
Oh hell no! That is a running joke in my office that people actually believe. But I do not have an English name. I was never born with an English name. My father is very traditional in that sense. So it is Nana Ajwa Aminua Akwako Sapon. That's my full name. First time I actually said it all together on air before.
Say it again.
Nana Ajwa Aminua Akwako Sapon.
So where does the J come from?
No, it's
Ajwa.
It's
ADJOA.
So you just made it AJ.
And then J.
Love it.
And that was it.
So now we got your full name. All right. Let's jump into who AJ is.
Yes.
You're the last born of 15.
I am the last born of 15 children.
Oi.
I know.
What's our last baby?
And I have the most awesome brothers and sisters. So
how many brothers? How many sisters?
I have 9 sisters, 4 brothers. So yeah, and they're all scattered all over the world.
Okay.
But everyone dotes on me, and I love it.
Because you're the last baby. Can you imagine? Wait, so how old is your oldest sibling?
Past 50, I think. Wow. Past 50.
And
yeah,
now,
because we celebrated her 50th birthday a few years ago. So yeah, way past 50.
Wow.
Way
and
past
now
50.
you're 30. So your dad has kids who are all 30 and above now.
Yes.
This is interesting.
And it's quite exciting. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so you were born where?
I was born in Accra on the 28th of October, 91. I'm not really sure the circumstances around my birth. Obviously, I could barely recognize it or do anything, but it was all basically centered in Accra, at least for what I know.
Okay, all right. So you grew up in Accra. We understand you were homeschooled, though.
I was, yes. So, okay, so to cut a long story short, my mother, we traveled quite a lot because she had a shipping company, and her sister, my late aunt Taraba, was her partner in it. So my aunt ran the London side, my mother ran the Ghana side.
Okay.
So there was a lot of going over there, coming over here. So it involved us. So I started traveling when I was 5 years.
Okay.
So we went, and every year we had to travel. So that sort of changed my view on how things are.
Okay. In what way?
So I think it made me more liberal. Because if you're 5 and then you're being exposed to so much so quickly, and seeing a whole different side, and I was actually very aware because I remember I have very vivid memories from that period. So I was very aware of a lot of things that were going on back then. So I think that sort of changed my worldview, because I realized that life as I know was not regulated to just Ghana.
Yeah.
It was not regulated to how we see things, how society dictates things in Ghana. But then there's a whole different world out there that I can be able to explore. So and my mother was quite liberal when we were growing up. She was also very open-minded about things. She allowed us to experience different things, allowed us to go out. She was very easy-handed on us, and that sort of shaped how I was able to explore different opportunities. So when I got to 15, and I went to my schooling, I went to Sachs Kindergarten for primary. Alcid Academy, Ingleberg.
Alcid.
Then we were shipped to Akosombo
wow.
International, where we were there for about 4 years, 3.5, almost 4 years. Then came back to Accra, then went to Galaxy International.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were literally like one of the first few students
At
there.
Galaxy.
At Galaxy.
Yeah, I think my mother was the first parent to actually call Galaxy when they had put out their advertisements. And
You're a pioneer.
we went then, but we then went to Akosombo.
Okay.
And then came back.
All right.
And then went back to Galaxy.
Okay, so you did have quite a bit of in-school experience.
Yes. So after Galaxy, after I finished my IGCSE, the option was available to just write my exam at home because you could write your A-levels at British Council.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I think I could just do this. So spoke to my mother about it. She was okay about it. If you know you will pass and you will do it, then why not? So my teachers came home and taught me 3-4 subjects because thankfully
So that was
A-levels
your
is quite
decision?
specialized. Yeah.
Wow.
And my mother was okay with it.
And you said your mother was liberal. I'm
She
like,
is.
me, my parents. Say,
Wait, so hold on. You continue the story, but just to find out, you said your mother was liberal. Was
Yes.
it because that's how she is, or because after several births, she's like, you know what, whatever?
No, she
Because a lot of parents do that, right? It's the first one, they're tough, then
Then as they
get
go.
increasingly
so
more liberal.
largely the 15 are not
not one
for my mother, like
Okay.
yeah, but my mother has just been my sister free,
Okay, so it's the two of you.
and
So
my
that's,
mother.
that's how she is.
Yes, she largely is. So, which is quite a contradiction because her sister, my aunt Araba, wasn't exactly very liberal,
Okay.
but that they had different opinions on how to raise. So
So you have this liberal mom
Yes.
who's like high flying, jet setting, continental.
basically, yes.
And then you're the daughter of a chief as well. So
I
Nana
am.
Koko Sarpong,
Yes,
your father.
Yes.
Did that influence your upbringing at all? The traditional side of being, an Ashanti chief?
I think it put more pressure because not only was he a chief, and at that time one of the biggest chiefs in Ghana, but he was also a politician, which was a big contradiction because back then chiefs were not really into politics. But he had permission to be able to enter into politics. He had political ambitions before he was named a chief, and he had already started the proceeds towards that. So when 45 years ago he was enthroned, he literally expressed that even though you see me as the best fitting person to be able to ascend the throne of the Agogo traditional area, I do have my ambitions, and will it be okay for me to pursue it? And he was given the opportunity to be able to do that, which he did very well.
He did, okay.
So I think that put a lot of pressure not to do anything to taint his image because he had built such a great credibility and reputation and had done so well. I was in class, we are reading textbook and your father's name is inside. The teachers know you based on your name. Everywhere you go. So there was a lot of pressure not to do anything to mess it up.
Okay.
And that's, I think, a standard that has governed everything that I do. Don't bring shame to my parents. Largely. It's been something that has
Do you still feel that
dictated.
at
Yes,
30?
yes,
You still feel that?
absolutely. Because if anything at all, even though I have built my own reputation in the media, if I do something or say something, the first thing to write is Nana Kwako Sarpong's daughter is.
Yeah.
And I'd seen, like, in the beginnings, I had seen like 1 or 2 articles, and I'm like, that's never going to be me.
Yeah.
I cannot have that. So, in as much as I'm not perfect, in as much as I do make my mistakes, thankfully not on social media, but I do make it a point that no matter what I do, I cannot bring any sort of problem to my father's
your
footstep.
family.
Yeah.
All right, so you write your O-levels.
Yes.
Then?
And then decided to be homeschooled, and I was, and actually finished 2 years and 6 months. So I would definitely recommend homeschooling to, because you learn at your own pace.
Yeah.
And you do it very well. Because if you're the only one who's learning based on how it is, they're teaching you according to your pace, you're able to move a lot faster. So I finished 2 years and 6 months,
So
and that's how my media journey started. Yeah.
So maybe what Papi said was a good. They're onto a good
Yeah,
thing.
the
You
kids,
know?
yeah.
Just homeschooling.
Honestly.
Okay.
Honestly.
You went to uni where?
I went to University of Ghana.
Okay.
I always wanted to go to University of Ghana.
Okay.
Like some of my siblings had gone to University of Ghana. My father went to University of Ghana, and everyone talks about how much of a celebrity he was on campus. So I knew University of Ghana was my thing, and I needed to be in Volta Hall, and that's exactly what happened. I was very.
You said it, girl. You hit it.
I was determined that university. So I didn't apply anywhere else. So I had that much conviction that University of Ghana or nothing.
Or nothing.
There was no other application that went anywhere else.
Can you imagine?
So I was determined.
What did you study at uni?
Political science initially, obviously, and and then I sort of fell in love with theatre arts. So theatre arts was my minor, which was going to stay my minor, and I was going to major in political science. But in my third year, I started doing radio and TV fundamentals, and I had some pretty great lecturers, and just enjoying the whole vibe of political science and theatre arts and all of that. Then I decided, you know what, theatre arts seems quite exciting, and I may want to do media as my career. At that point in time, I started freelancing a lot.
Okay.
So I was working while in school.
Now, you were how old by this time?
I started Legon when I was 18.
Okay.
Yes.
All
So I had worked matter of fact, I had worked throughout the 4 years, and I had worked 2 years prior. So I started working when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
I started as a personal assistant. Yes, for a lady, and then became an events person for her because she had some events aspects to her business.
Okay.
And then while doing events, meeting people, I met up with Ni Atakra of GhanaMusic.com.
Okay.
And he said, you seem to be quite passionate about talking. And I had opinions. I was on Facebook. I just discovered Facebook. I was 17. I was like, wow, Facebook is amazing. So I used to write my opinions. And then this person's not doing well. This person's not doing that. I'll just be talking about it all night. So I said, well, you have opinions. How about you put it to the test?
Okay.
And actually join the team at GhanaMusic.com.
Okay.
So I said, why not? So I started off with them. I started doing their events, writing a few stories, covering the events. So back then, doing behind the scenes of events was not a big thing. So they would literally have a small camcorder, and then we'll go around to all the events and backstage and behind the scenes and talking to all these artists. And then it became a thing.
Okay.
Then they now progressed to doing a YouTube channel that was focused on music countdowns. Wow. And then I was the face of that.
And this is pre-uni.
This is so this was while in uni. So I had just entered into level 100 and I was doing this. And at the same time, I had a Friday night segment on YFM.
Wow.
So I was the what's going on girl. So if there's a party at Boomerang, there's a party at Aphrodisiac, there's a pub, there's Glens, like anything that's going on a Friday night or the weekend, I was the one who was telling them about it.
It's so good you're giving us all this info, because you know there are people who don't believe that you just turned 30.
They have no idea.
She's lying.
You've been there.
You've been there, you know.
I will admit that I used to lie about my age, about being older. So I used to lie about being, so at a point in time, I think I considered going to Big Brother when I was like 21. But I was like, I have been lying about my age for 4 years. If I go and say, hi, everyone, I'm 21 years old.
No way.
And I will be like, but this girl that we've assumed that she's like 23 by now. So that I think stopped me from ever going to Big Brother night or Africa at that point in time. And then at 25, I realized, wait, I think I've done pretty well for a 25-year-old. So that's the point that I started putting out my age. And then still, no one has believed me till late.
Yeah, I know. They still say, she's now 30.
Like,
she's been working for like 40 years. All right, cool. Okay, fast forward into media, mainstream media. Now, we know you've worked at a few media houses. Just take us down the list quickly.
So while I was at Y, I was also freelancing at TV3 on their Friday morning entertainment show. So me and Mutala, I used to spread my opinions all the time every morning on Friday. I was at GTV doing freelance as well for their entertainment show. So I was like the entertainment panel girl on basically every show. Then I finally went to GH1 and then did a few shows with them. And then they said that, you know what, we're coming out with this new show called Tales from the Powder Room. And since you have such a loud mouth, basically, how about you become a panel member permanently? And join Nashoko on it, and then the two of you, along with another cast member called Abishag, become the faces of female TV loudmouths and we're like, why not? So that's how, that's sort of official, made it official at GH1. I became like a supporting cast member of
Got
their
you.
shows.
All right. So YFM, TB3, GH1,
GTV, and then City.
and now
So
the City family.
City, you actually started on radio before Brunch.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, as soon as I got out of, so I went to go and do a master's in journalism, and then the opportunity came to come to City. Then they said, you know what, you should start with CBS, and I was petrified.
Why were you
I had, matter of fact, I hadn't even turned 26 yet. I was just a few days away from turning 26, and this is me barely 26. Yes, I've been doing media for, at that point, probably about 6-8 years, but still, this is the biggest morning show in the country. I was scared. So I probably took about a month just praying about it. Because I was so scared. Like, it could make or break you.
I still remember conversations we used to have,
Right.
because I was just leaving CBS.
Yes.
Okay.
And she was coming in.
I was so scared because everything is in real time. So prior to that, everything, it'll take a while for things to air, it'll take a while for you to get feedback. But with CBS and then their audience, it's real time. People are tweeting.
It's instant and it's
if
constant.
you have a mistake, people are sending you the feedback like immediately.
It's true.
And it honestly is probably the toughest but the most life-changing year of my life. Being in the same space with Bernard, Richard Sky then, Koja Koto, Godfred, Nathan, it changes you.
Yeah, it
I
does.
went from being like a girl with who's flighty, and obviously I'm always like that. But then it made me really grounded. I learned more than I'd ever learned in any classroom.
Yeah, it's like being in a classroom every day.
Honestly.
Every day.
Honestly, like
for
the amount of
hours.
reports, the amount
Yes.
of articles, the amount of opinion pieces, like I was just on the beat.
Yeah.
And it changed me completely. And I think probably one of the most defining moments in the last decade.
Fantastic. Okay.
Honestly.
So what happened with the transition from CBS to now the biggest mid-morning show in Ghana on radio, Brunch in the City?
Quite funny. So on CBS, at that point we're alternating because Nana would come back. And then Osei Kwame went on a leave.
Yes.
So I was like, they were like, so you obviously have prior experience doing mid-morning, and I've done it on a few stations. So how about you just sit in? So I was like, that's cool. Let me sit in. But I knew I was just doing it for a month.
Right.
So I had come for it's like a 1 month leave of reading.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have fun. So even though the direction of Brunch was largely like calm, cool music, I'm like, I'm not the kind of person that likes to listen to music or listen to a show with me in the back. You can't listen to me and put me in the background. I will be the focal point. You must listen to me. So I will give you music that will make you tap your feet,
Yes.
move yourself, at least shake your head, or at least make you a bit more energetic at work. So I just went in with a mindset that I'm going to have fun, a lot of fun for 1 month, and then go back to reading. And then
1 month has turned into a few years.
And from the show being obviously a very listened show to becoming number one.
Number one.
it's-
But if you don't skip ahead though. So what happened? How did the 1 month become your permanent gig?
So about 2 weeks into it, I sort of felt that, hey, maybe I'm doing too much. Because it went from, ages on to people actually writing on Facebook that, I don't actually miss it. Like, I don't miss how it used to be. And people started putting out these opinions, and I actually started feeling very bad because I went in thinking that I'm just going to have fun for a month, not this is going to turn into...
Like you're going to take
something.
somebody's job.
Yes.
I get it.
And
I get it.
I actually really felt bad about it, but at least it wasn't that I had taken him off Brunch completely or something, but he was still on Traffic Avenue. But it took me a while to get over it because I'm someone that doesn't like to
rock the boat.
Yes, at all. And I felt like I had rocked it a little too much, but I just generally felt like I was doing something that people would enjoy, and they ended up enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that in all of this, at least it's created a cult following for Brunch in the City now. Yeah. People recognize me for my laughter, which is weird.
Yeah, no.
Because I laugh a lot.
You laugh a lot. And your voice. you know, the people always do this comparison between her and Jessica.
Yes,
because-
and then now you. People
People
say like
no,
the three of us
sound like, oh wait,
No, it's true.
it's true.
It's very true.
It's so true.
So I think what differentiates us is our laughter now.
Yes.
But your laughter is actually iconic because
How is it
no, because think about it. I mean, AJ, if she laughs, if she's downstairs and she's laughing,
Yeah,
you know it's AJ.
You feel it.
Yeah, it's
Feel it.
And it's the same thing with my sister. So me and my sister have like very similar laughs. And in school, because while we're both in Galaxy, she could be maybe in her classroom and laughing, and everyone will turn and say that AJ, your sister is laughing. Or when I do that, and then everyone will say, and because I laugh, and I laugh impulse, I laugh when I'm nervous, I laugh when I'm happy, I laugh when I have nothing to say, I laugh when I laugh. Like it's just like a default thing for me. So people used to bring me all the funny jokes and I'd laugh and they would feel very good about it in class. So I was always the one that people tested their jokes on in class.
Tell us about Dynamic Friday.
Yes.
How was that born? Because I think it's the singular most revolutionary thing that has happened
Honestly.
on. I mean,
On
you've done
radio,
mid-morning,
yeah.
and Brunch in the City is number one.
Yeah.
But of everything that happens on Brunch in the
Friday
City,
shows are very
Yeah.
and it enters places I didn't even know was possible. Like I've moderated events, I've emceed events, and the kind of people that walk up to you and say, "I listen to you on Fridays." I'm shocked because Fridays are when we joke. Like
Yeah.
it's an opportunity
You lay
for you
your
to lay
hair
your
down.
hair down.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I say things that I realize, oh my God, I'm on radio. But how it happened is the genius of Cement. Like honestly, and he's definitely single-handedly one of the most creative and talented people I've ever met in my entire life. Like,
And he's so prescient. He sees
honestly,
things
Yeah.
that
Like,
no one
I
else
swear,
Yeah,
I think he
It's incredible, huh?
like he has a different kind of eye or something because the amount of talent he sports, the amount of things that he sees that he thinks can make work, it beats me all the time.
Yeah.
So he said, "Oh, Frema will join you on," because I think he had heard, I don't know if he had heard or he had seen some of our interactions. And me and Frema, I think, are like kindred spirits. We always vibe
your
together.
birthdays are close.
I know.
you understand?
So it was like, oh, she has a great knowledge on Ghanaian music.
Yes, she does.
And
It's incredible.
I play the songs, but I don't sometimes know the background
The history
behind the
of it,
songs.
yeah.
So it's like, oh, great. Fantastic. She should come through and then let's see how it, so it was like, oh, let's see how this Friday will be. Then we jump on and we try to do that in Lumba. And she starts talking and I start talking and the two of us are just singing and vibing over the songs. And before we knew, we were trending #1. And that was our first show, literally. And started trending #1. People started vibing to that Lumba and sending us messages like, what is this? Who are these girls in the studio? What are they doing? And we were just having a lot of fun. And that's how it's literally been every week since. And yeah, now people anticipate it. People send me messages before it.
I'm sure
and
they even request which artist you should do next. Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but yeah, I cannot have it. Like Frema is my missing link to the young I didn't even know I needed.
I like that. All right. Now you're 30.
Yes.
Had a fantastic birthday yesterday. I know you're going to be
Yes.
celebrating. You finished October. Now, how does the daughter of a chief think about future? I know I'm putting this out there
Yes.
because you talk a lot about being available
Yes.
and looking for that rich man who's going to take you to the next level.
You know it.
So what's that about, AJ? How are you planning for that part of your life? The next chapter where you're coming into your own as a woman and you're looking forward to family plans.
So I think we spoke about this in my recent YouTube video about my anxieties entering into 30. And I do have anxieties about settling down. So even though I talk a lot and I have interesting opinions on love and relationships and marriages, because honestly, how I grew up and where I grew up and how thing I've seen just sort of alters your image of certain things. And I will not get into that here now. But I do think about it. But I've also seen that in recent times, people have sort of broken away from the stereotype of you have to be married in a certain time or you have to be doing this in a certain time. And now we see walking examples all around us of people that are living their best lives without husbands, without children, who are able to do it all and then have the perfect balance for their lives. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, That is my lot in life.
Okay,
I am.
what's your spec? Because a lot of people are watching.
Oh, darling.
All you know is watching. You know. So what's the criteria?
This one,
What's the
this one-
checklist?
This one I can tell you is easy. Bahraini prince. That's all.
You know it.
Right? Yeah.
But you know, okay, well, honestly, someone who's kind and kind in all aspects. I've never been big on looks. But which is quite surprising. I've never been big on looks.
Tall,
but
short.
it doesn't really
bold,
matter to me.
kind.
No, it doesn't really
That's
matter
it.
to me.
Kind
I like
and
someone
plenty
who's
of
kind.
Oh,
Who is
kind. There are plenty out there. I
in
posted
all-
a picture. I had people sending me messages
kind
that
in all aspects. Very kind in all
Yeah,
aspects.
but if you don't,
But
you can be kind.
so
when you
someone's
don't
exactly.
have. You can be kind. And you don't have.
but someone who, as someone who has worked so hard to sort of create a life for myself that is maybe devoid of my families but able to stand on my own. I mean, I'm doing a second master's because I want to be better.
Fantastic.
I'm all about self-improvement. So I want someone who's also figured himself out, who's successful in his own right, who's able to challenge me, who can deal with my ambition. Because I want to take over the world, baby. And you need to be able to encourage that ambition in me, who can be able to support that. And sometimes we have men that, and I know Madam Aushika sat on right here and then spoke something that honestly pierced every aspect of what I believe in. Marry someone who can support your vision and who can also be creating his as well.
So close your eyes and imagine something, right? It is Friday.
It is Friday.
Yes.
It's heading close to 10 o'clock.
It's heading close.
What's happening at 10 o'clock for you?
We're going live on Brunch in the city.
And it's gonna be
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Absolutely fantastic. I love it. Let her cry. Let her cry.
May God bless you now. May God bless you now. May God bless you now. May God bless you now.
Yep,
Hip, hip, hip.
Hooray!
This is
So Kemley's Cakes, right?
Yes, Kemley's Cakes,
Wanted
yes.
you to have this beautiful
Facebook,
cake.
Instagram, go there.
Alright.
Kemley's Cakes, beautiful, beautiful.
Hey, this is amazing.
Happy 30th birthday again.
Kopi.
No, my birthday doesn't end
Kopi.
till
It doesn't end till
1st of November.
Okay.
It's a birthday weekend.
Uh-huh.
We're getting lit.
She's done this to me before, so I'm happy to see her.
Oh, she
here.
has?
Yes.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
No, this
Thank you
is
to the
awesome.
brains behind this, to the producers.
All right.
Happy, Angela, to the director, to the camera guys, to the entire city family. Honestly,
Everybody.
you guys, you make it
So
work.
thank you
eat
again
cake.
to
Let's eat
Kemley's
cake.
Cakes for this.
Thank you, Kemley's Cakes.
I think we should call everyone here. You
Honestly,
know, the brains
everyone
and
join
everyone
us, join us. Happy.
Yeah.
Guys,
All right, everybody. Okay, right, let's do
David,
this.
come on,
You have to
join
cut the
me.
cake.
Yeah.
Let's cut
You know
the
what I
cake.
love though? The video that you and Apioko did.
Yes.
I laughed so hard. She's like, it's my birthday. Tomorrow's my birthday.
All right, let's do this.
Ooh, it's red velvet.
It's red velvet. Oh, thank you, Kemi's cake.
All right, you gotta taste it first.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then we can.
And then we
Nice.
You like it?
You feel better
Brilliant.
there?
now I do. Now
Wow,
I
thank you to Kemley's Cakes. Thank you again. All right, so remember,
Yes.
Thank you for the surprise.
yeah.